And you have also studied in Oxford, and it's a magical place, of course, but what specifically made you go, you know what, I have to write about this place?
I'll tell you, there was a moment maybe during my second month when I was at Oxford, and I was walking home alone at night, and the moon was out, and it was silent, and this is a very old city, so when you see nobody else around, you could be at any time period over the last 1,000 years, right? And as I was walking home, I started hearing this singing, this angelic choral music, and I thought, my God, like the ghosts, they're after me. But really, a lot of the Oxford colleges have chapel choirs, and they were rehearsing, and the music was carrying down the street and bouncing off the stones. And in that moment, I thought, wow, like I really feel like I've been transported to a different time and place, and I wanted to keep that feeling with me.
Yeah, it's. I didn't know it. I always knew Oxford was an old university, but it's really old.
Yeah, really old.
They didn't teach calculus for 700 years because it wasn't invented when Oxford was founded. And you do describe the university with a lot of love, but you also criticize it. In Babel, for example, they use magic to help England colonize the world and basically enslave people. So it's not just love, but it's also a lot of criticism. And how much of that do you see happening in the real world, of course, without the magic?
It's something I think about all the time as a graduate student at Yale and working with students at elite institutions, because it's such a wonderful privilege to be in that space, to have access to almost every academic text that's been published anywhere in the world just at your fingertips, right? Access to all of this knowledge and all these talks, and to be in an environment brimming with intellectual potential. You know, any room you could walk into might be a conference on a topic that could open up your world, but at the same time, I'm deeply concerned that students just come here to replicate an elite class, and I am most anxious of all about the idea of the ivory tower, right? Students coming to a space and living in cloistered, beautiful campuses where they don't have to think about the rest of the world. They just live in a space of abstract ideas, and then they graduate into careers that are popular on campus just to earn a lot of money, and in a lot of contexts participate in quite exploitative industries. And I've seen a lot of students come in with quite radical ideas, and they want to change the world, and they want to learn so much and help others. And by the time they graduate, they just want to be lawyers. Sorry, if anybody is a lawyer, you know, there are different kinds of lawyers that discriminate. But I'm thinking constantly about how you move through that space and hold on to what matters to you, and go back into the world and give back, rather than just keep drinking the champagne and feeling very special about yourself because you're in a campus like that. And
did you ever drink the champagne? Like, did you have a moment where you thought, you know what, that's not going into the right direction for me, or have you always been strong?
I think I'm human, right?
Yeah.
So I think one of the contradictions at the heart of Babel is wanting so badly to belong to that elite space, to feel like you've always been somebody who would dress nicely and drink champagne and walk through those hallowed halls. And of course, when you're 20, 21, it feels amazing, and you want to feel like that for the rest of your life. And I was very lucky that I had quite radical friends and mentors who reminded me that I can't be looking out for myself, that my presence at these institutions is not radical, it's not a revolution, it's just that I was very fortunate and I had opportunities that most people don't. So it must always be about, how do I use the resources at my disposal to give back and change structural conditions for others. Yeah. That being said, I also hate the taste of champagne.